Hi, and welcome to another new adult review. This is, of course, the Colleen Hoover edition of the reviews. And in this one, I'm going to talk about Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, obviously. And then the Slammed series, which is Slammed, Point of Retreat, and This Girl. Also, obviously, by Colleen Hoover. In case you've missed the memo that I'm talking about Colleen Hoover. So the last two reviews I filmed were kind of long, so I'm trying to cut it down in this one. So, in Hopeless, there is a companion novel to this called Losing Hope, but I have not read it. So, Hopeless, 5 stars. Dropping books. Slammed, 4 stars. Point of Retreat, 4.5. And what did I give This Girl? I don't remember. 4 or 4.5, I think 4. So you know. And I read Hopeless first, but I actually suggest if you're getting into Colleen Hoover, probably reading the Slam series first, because I think it's slightly easier subject matter and kind of I prefer Hopeless, so I prefer to go with something like work my way up. That's horrible. That's like saying these are disappointing and they're not, just compared to Hopeless. So, so let's talk about Slammed first. So the Slam series is about Lake and Will, and they meet when Lake moves to Michigan after her father passes away with her mom and her brother. And they just have this whirlwind couple days where they're like, oh my gosh, loving each other, and then something happens and they can't be together. So it's about them dealing with those issues. That's actually really what all 3 books are dealing with the outside things keeping them apart and their own internal emotional struggles and issues. And also all 3 books have a great deal of slam poetry in them. That's a huge part of the story. That's why it's called Slammed. And actually, most of the things I marked in them are actually the poetry. And I'm not, in general, a poetry fan, and I've definitely never understood slam poetry. So I think it's kind of funny that I enjoyed it so much. Colleen Hoover does a really good job of integrating it and making it part of the story and part of the characters and making it enjoyable. Like, you almost can hear it being performed in your head. Like, slam poetry is kind of one of those things where emphasis is really important, and she does a good job at writing that into the story. Don't skip it. Do not skip the poetry. I guess I saw this thing that said that when these got published, or when she was trying to get them published or something, because I believe these were self-published first. So either when she was trying to sell it before that, or once it got picked up, the publishing houses tried to tell her to take the slam poetry out, and these would have just been without the slam poetry. It added so much to the story. These books, like a lot of new adult books, are told in first person. Slammed is actually told from Lake's point of view, and then Point of Retreat and This Girl are told from Will's point of view. And I much prefer Will. Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't have a problem with Lake and Slammed, really, sometimes, but not a lot. But once I got to be in Will's head, I was like, whoa, loving Will. He's amazing. The way that he tells a story, his voice is amazing, especially in This Girl. The way this book is told is really different and unique for what it is. I don't want to talk too much because I feel like that gives away other things. So that's really it about Slammed. So let's move on to Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, which probably has one of the best openings I've ever read. This is an emotional roller coaster. It is about a girl named Sky, and she has been homeschooled her whole life, and she convinces her mother to let her go to public school for her senior year, and she meets this guy named Dean Holder, who everybody calls Holder, and they kind of are drawn to each other, but she also, because of things she's heard about him, kind of pulls away, and just as they get to know each other more and more, and there's just things about both of their pasts that are revealed, and about just, oh my gosh, oh, this is like one of the hardest books to talk about and not spoil things. It's an amazingly well written novel. It's heartbreaking and it's devastating, and the content kills you, but Colleen Hoover does it with such grace and honesty that you can't put it down even if you want to. You want to hate yourself for reading it, but you can't, because she just sucks you in so much. It is very intense though, it is. And it's kind of hard because I want to recommend it, but I definitely think this book could have emotional triggers for people because of the subject matter. So if you are, and it's hard because you don't want to spoil people, so I would suggest it and I would recommend it, but enter it with caution. But something that all 4 of these books have in common, in my opinion, is Colleen Hoover's ability to write relationships. So not just romantic relationships, she does that well as well also, but her just everything. So like in Hopeless, between Sky and her best friend, and between Sky and her mom, and then in the Slam series between Lake and Eddie and Gavin, and then when oh my gosh, what are their names? Kel and Calder and Kirsten, who I love. If you've read them, Kirsten. Like the video if you like Kirsten, because she's awesome. All of these characters, she knows how to create these relationships that feel so real and so solid and grounded in reality, and also knows how to build a family almost with those things, and you kind of feel like you're a part of it, I guess. So yeah, she's an amazing relationship builder, which I really enjoy. So like I said, I'm like in love with Colleen Hoover right now, and I would highly recommend her books to pretty much anyone. Slammed for sure. I think Slammed people would like no matter what. Hopeless could be a trigger book, but if you go in with caution, you should be okay. So if you've read Colleen Hoover and you like them, or you don't, either way, let me know. I've actually never heard anyone say anything really bad about her. So if you don't like Colleen Hoover, definitely let me know, because I wonder if there are any. I'm sure there are people that don't like her, but I haven't heard any. So let me know if you don't. And thanks for watching. Bye.